everyone. So in this video, we're going to talk about what makes a happy marriage. Muzna and I have built a happy marriage over the last 8 years by stumbling over some of the same things that everyone stumbles over.
Every couple has their unique challenges, but over the years, looking at our friends and looking at other people we know, we've understood there are a few problems that are common between all couples, especially during the first few years of marriage. In this video, we'll sort of cover that and take you through what issues we had in our marriage and how we dealt with it.
Before we get on with our video, we wanted to let you guys know that we put out videos on life, on marriage, about jobs, about businesses, about what it is to manage a 2-year-old child, and how we have fun throughout the day.
And we also do comedy content, and most of the videos that we put up in comedy are also inspired by our real life incidents.
So if you like our videos, you please watch out for them on weekends. Usually it's on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. Please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so that you get all the notifications for it.
So let's get into our video.
So though ours was an arranged marriage and we met through parents, there was an intense amount of attraction and liking that we had for each other, which made it very easy for us to say yes to each other.
There was a point when I had decided that I want to get married, and I had this discussion with my parents and made this, not a list, but just an outline of what kind of a person I wanted to get married to, what kind of personality that I'm looking for. Lucky for me, and surprisingly, Thauseef fit 95% of what I wanted in a person. At least then, that's what I felt, you know. I found someone who's just absolutely perfect for me.
So similarly, even for me, I think a couple of months before I met Muzna, I had asked my mom that I wanted to meet a girl and actually have a conversation with her. I want to see if our life priorities are matching, the things that we like, the things that we dislike are matching. And it so happened that my mom brought Muzna's proposal, and I think I would also say that 95% of whatever she was fit the bill. So we went into it very, very happy, thinking we found the perfect match.
That 95% of what you have accepted of that other person is only based on, you know, a few conversations that you've had, probably over a cup of coffee or sometimes just on the phone.
It's only the tip of the iceberg.
And you've just accepted the person for that. Now, what happens after marriage is 75% of the time, you see the opposite side of that, right? The most dullest side, the most unimpressive side, because people cannot always be dressed up, people cannot be always excited about life, or, you know, that level of energy is not there at every
The
point.
real qualities start to emerge.
Yeah, and that works both ways. I'm not saying that like his true self came out and I was like this charming personality. No, both of us were just being normal, because that's how normal human beings are. Because you think that 95% that of what you had seen initially is what the true self is, and you've accepted that person for that.
So you expect that in your life, and then things suddenly fall apart, no? From 95% you're down to about 35%.
And that's what people call love. They think, oh, he has to wholeheartedly accept the kind of person I am, the way I am, take me as I am. And it doesn't work that way. You know, just to give you a small example, we are extremely contrasting personalities when it comes to mornings. Like, I'm a big time morning person. I'm very high on energy and I'm very optimistic and, you know, like full on, like go-getter sort of a thing. Because morning, I'm all pumped up.
I, on the other hand, I'm a very grumpy person. Mornings are the worst time for me. So until I get to my office and have, say, 2 cups of coffee and, you know, pretty much have made my mood better, I'm in a really, really bad mood. So what used to happen is, Muzna and I used to be going to work together. I used to drop her in office, and in the car, I am really grumpy. And Muzna's like chirping, and she's like, wow.
I'm not chirping. I am not chirping. I'm not a bird. No, I'm not chirping. I'm just chirpy.
Just chirping like a bird.
What happens is, with his grumpy attitude too, he's like, why is the volume so high? Why can't you reduce the volume? Or why are you like talking so much? Can we, you know, maybe in the evening we can discuss this.
I can be pretty rude in the morning.
Yeah, so when he does that, and this I'm talking about the initial brand new days of marriage, right? Like, I used to think, oh my God, he's supposed to be happy just waking up next to me. Why is he not so happy? And he probably thinks, why is she so happy in the morning when she has to go and work?
It's like
it's not like a party
whole day of work. And what is the reason to be so happy? I am like so pissed off with life that I have to get up and go to work, you know.
So that became like a big point of conflict between us.
Yeah.
So contrary to that whole popular belief that, you know, first first initial months or years of marriage are honeymoon. It's the honeymoon period.
It's not, guys.
I think the first few months or years of marriage, it's like the most hardest period of marriage because you're getting to know each other. And these kind of traits, right? Like very small, mundane traits of a human being.
It's like if you can get through the first 2 years of your so-called honeymoon period, then you're set for life. Your marriage works.
Absolutely. So, I think it's more important to observe, introspect, understand what that other person is also, and be empathetic and try and deal with it and not overreact to that situation. Initially, it will be tough to get over some negotiable traits.
Basically, I think the first 2 years of marriage is deciding what all you want to hold on to and what all you want to get go.
Sometimes just time takes care of these kind of things. And now when we wake up, sometimes I let him be. I don't go and talk to him or interact with him in the mornings. And at the same time, sometimes over weekends when he has a bit of free time, he tries to build up his energy, pump up a little bit in the morning and try and be a little more positive in the morning. Chirping. He's chirping in the morning with me.
Coming back to a point that I made, that initially you're at 95% and then you end up at about 35%. All your bad traits and all your worst traits actually start coming out. You know what they say, that if you want to remember your wife's birthday for the rest of your life, you have to forget it once, right? That's what they say. And that's what happened in our case. So it was her birthday and it was the first birthday after our wedding, and I had not really made a plan. So I woke up in the morning and I was asking her, so what do you want to do? You want to go for dinner tonight? You want to go for a boat ride? What do you want to do? And Muzna was getting really angry because it's our first year, the first birthday after the wedding, and I had not really made a plan. Technically, it was not even your birthday. It was the day before your birthday because it had come on a 3-day weekend, right? I remember.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make plans for my own birthday. Like, come now at 6 o'clock, let's go and do this because it's my birthday, right?
So that day, guys, I felt tremendous pressure for the first time in my life as it gets towards the later night. Muzna's looking at me and there's no birthday plan. And everybody starts calling up and say, what did you guys do? First birthday after wedding, what did you do? What did you do? And I haven't made a plan. So I really felt that pressure the first time. So from that year, I learned my lesson. Every year since, Muzna's birthday has been a 3-day affair. We start one day before her birthday, we have dinner, we get a cake. Initially, the second year, I forgot to get a cake actually. So we had dinner the night before. The next day, we celebrated.
There was a birthday when he's like, oh, now let's go for dinner. And I'm like, okay, where's the cake? Cake is going to come at some point.
So I took her out for dinner, guys. And then the next day, I took her out with family. I gave her full surprises. We went for a drive. We did so many things. And then at the end of 3 days of festivities. Muzna says, so where was my cake? I'm like, I forgot. Now we have a cake every day. So 3 days of birthday, 3 days of cakes to happen.
He's exaggerating now. We don't have 3 cakes and all that. And it's not like we're partying every day. It's just
something. The surprise usually.
Try and do something.
So forgetting your wife's birthday once means you remember it for the rest of your life.
I made it extremely memorable for him.
Yeah. And these are important things. The romance that you have early on in a relationship before you get married or in the first few days of marriage does not last. But you have to put that effort in. You have to make that effort to make that last, because these are the things that define a relationship and make it a happy relationship for you.
This is like probably, we've lived together for about 6-7 months into our marriage. Very real issues start showing up, like just roles and responsibilities in a marriage. I came from this whole mentality that a little bit it was instilled into me that, okay, you're the woman, you sort of have to take care of the house and take care of the cooking aspect and everything. But at the same time, I was not equipped with the skills that were required. Not like my mom taught me how to cook or how to make dishes, or neither was he equipped with any of this. Also, to keep in mind, guys, we actually moved out. We were living alone in a different country. We were trying to figure out our jobs, our finances. There were so many other things that we had to focus on in life at that point. Pressurizing yourself to think that now I have to make sure that there's like home cooked meals 3 times a day and keeping a clean house. That was like added on pressure that I was sort of putting on myself at that point, which translated into too many conflicts between us. So when you get married, it's very important to sort of decide what kind of role each person is going to bring into this marriage. And what is important, prioritize what is important. Maybe at that point it was not so important for us to make sure there were 3 meals a day home cooked, and we were very new into it, and we were also much younger as well.
See, honestly, I was not so much into home cooked food, or I had no rules. The gender specific rules had to be set in our house, and I was okay with eating out every day if required. I was okay with the house being.
It's just that he didn't want to do any work.
I mean, obviously, I didn't know how to do it, so I didn't expect her to do it either, right?
So he was like, "You don't do it. I will not do it. We'll just eat out every day."
Exactly.
But that didn't make sense at that point. But I misunderstood the whole thing as, okay, he's expecting me to cook. He's expecting me to take care of everything. But he's like, chill, dude, don't have anything. We'll just order from, the restaurant downstairs. It doesn't matter. Let's just keep it that way.
So this is a recurring problem with the millennial couples like us. And what happens is, a lot of times, gender-specific rules that lasted in our parents' time no longer apply. And what happens is, we are fixing ourselves and we're trying to adhere to those rules which no longer work. Flex those rules a little bit, share responsibilities. And I think that's what we learned over a period of time.
He's very good with the bathroom. He's good at sort of, cleaning up the house and all of that sort of responsibility he takes care of. I am more into the kitchen because I prefer taking care of that, because I think I'm just better at it.
As a couple, I think we both have a good sense of humor. And a lot of times what happens is we crack a lot of jokes at the expense of each other. And people get really, really offended. It happened with us. What we didn't realize is, as people, we are very sensitive. Though we are very good with jokes about other people or about each other, when it comes to ourselves, we were extremely sensitive. And we had a lot of these issues where we used to get offended in public. We used to retort back. A lot of unpleasant situations where we were angry for many days because of something that we said. And the funny thing is, we were perfectly fine when the two of us were alone at home. Go out, we meet some people, and she cracks a joke, and I think that's offensive to me. I think she's trying to attack me. First of all, it's important to have boundaries of what the joke should be. You can't make really bad jokes, right?
You can't be disrespectful of each other. I mean, it's okay to pull each other's leg, but have a limit of, not to disrespect the other person in front of other people.
The moment that perception opened up, and I actually understood that she was just trying to be funny, and that's just the way she is, a lot of things improved in our lives, and a lot of our problems got sorted out.
Also, respect each other's opinion. Like if your spouse is not comfortable with something, it's okay to accept it and not do it again. It's not just about jokes. It's just about certain conversations, right? Just be aware of, is your partner comfortable with this or not? I mean, you can understand it through their body language. You can get it from their expressions. You can get it from many cues that they're giving. So just be aware of what your partner is feeling. And the moment you understand that, and let it go or cover it up or do something to make it better, I think that will just do the trick. We have reached a phase in our life where, first of all, we understand where is the limit.
Yes.
And secondly, if we do cross the limit sometimes, I think we both are very well aware of each other's even twitch of, an expression.
Facial expressions.
We can read each other and we are able to divert the conversation.
Either divert it or quickly comfort the other person and tell them that, hey, I didn't mean any harm.
To the extent that these days that, sometimes when I crack a joke and I would say, oh, he's a Cancerian and I'm Aquarian, so I would say something like, oh, the Cancerian is going to hit back any moment, and we just laugh about it because that's how I'm managing it by making sure.
Normally I would have hit back, but because she said that, I'll probably ignore that joke, right?
Overall, in marriage, what we realized is to have fun. Okay, as a married couple, I'm not talking about romance. I'm not talking about spending that special night, date night. I'm not even talking about those kind of special nights. Those are important as well. But I am specifically talking about just having fun and getting that connection. Having those special moments once in a while where it's not thought through too much. It's not a very planned out evening. Sometimes if we've had a very tough week and we've just not had the time to spend with each other, we end up putting some song and just dancing in the evening. Along with our son, we just do a 10 to 15 minutes.
Karaoke nights. We used to play video games together. Right?
Just keeping very, very simple things that both of you sort of enjoy. Even if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes, enjoy that moment. Sometimes we have those conversations up until the morning prayers when we're just sitting all night, and especially over the weekend, sometimes we put Lukman to sleep and we just sit.
We have a lot of conversations.
And this is not talking about every week. It's not like we have to have this conversation every week or we have to do it. They are spontaneous.
Initially, we were staying in a very small house. So a lot of times there was no space to vent out and there was no space to move about. We didn't really have that space to communicate or to actually spend time away from each other. A lot of times when we fight, we had to face each other immediately. And we realized that the first 1.5 to 2 years of our life was very, very difficult. And we had a lot of fights because of this extremely compressed space that we were living in. The moment we moved into a bigger place, we saw this beautiful increase in the quality of our conversations. We really started enjoying each other's company more. We also enjoyed our space apart more. Like when you're having a quarrel, it's okay to split. It's okay to take your time off, go for a walk, or spend some time separately in a room, maybe reading something or watching a YouTube video.
So as much as it's important to spend time together, it is also important to spend some time alone.
Yeah.
And develop your own, there has to be a certain amount of self-development in a relationship.
Right.
So there can't be that much level of interdependence where, you're just quarreling and expectations and everything that are going towards only two people. At some point it has to be like, okay, I have a life and enjoy that time and then come back together as whole people.
A lot of fights, in the middle of a fight, if you decide to take a 5-minute break and step out and come back and then continue the fight, the fights get resolved very quickly.
Continue the fight.
Continue. You can always, constructively fight, right? You can fight and solve problems.
It's not just about fights, but also, sometimes it's not just about fight and taking that time off and coming back, but just as two human beings, it's important to spend some time alone and just spend some time doing your thing. Whether it's just about talking on the phone with your friends or whether you want to go step out with your friends for a weekend.
So there's a line that Khalil Gibran said in his poem On Marriage that says that the pillars of a temple stand apart. They don't stand together. So that's important in a marriage. You have to stand apart sometimes because the cypress tree and the oak tree, they don't grow in each other's shadow. Sometimes you have to be out of each other's shadows for things to actually progress, right? That is very important, and I think that's one thing that we learned in our marriage. It's one of the keys to a happy marriage. Also.
I think this is the way early on we reached, because I think both our personalities are such that I also need my time alone and he needs a lot more time alone. I need a little time alone. That I think we understood like very early on in our marriage, that we don't get into each other's space.
So that's it, guys. So this is today's video. I hope you guys liked it and were able to take a few points from this. And
let us know if it helped you in any conflicts that you have in your marriage, helped you in resolving it or giving you a slightly different perspective to it.
Exactly. And let us know if you have more points that we should have spoken about or which you think are very important points in a marriage. So the next video we're going to make is about the 50 questions that Muzna is going to ask me. And I'm going to be answering them very quickly in the 3 minutes, unlike the way she did it, right? So that's the plan.
We shall see.
So guys, please do subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss that video. It will be coming out very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye. Bye.